Reinsurance insider from London is reporting this morning that Charles Franks is going to be appointed the CEO of Kiln. Kiln is a London-based insurance and reinsurance underwriting company. Ed Creasy, who until now has been the CEO, is going to become the chairman of Kiln Group. This is a position he will hold alongside his current role as chairman of R.J. Kiln and Company Limited. Mr. Franks will hold his new job together with his current role of CEO of R.J. Kiln Limited. He became an active underwriter of the Marine Division at Kiln in 2001, having joined Kiln as a deputy underwriter all the way back in 1993. Kiln, of course, is a wholly owned subsidiary of Tokyo Marine. Its UK operating company, R.J. Kiln and Company Limited, is the holding company, has 4 syndicates at Lloyd's, and in terms of capacity, is one of the largest agencies trading in the Lloyd's insurance market. Former AIG CEO Maurice Greenberg has written a letter to current CEO Ed Liddy, in which he's asking the head of the beleaguered insurer for the chance to bid on assets that the company plans to sell to repay the $85 billion loan granted as part of last month's bailout. In the letter to Liddy, he criticized the lack of transparency in AIG's asset sale plans, which are due to be unveiled by the end of this week. In the September 29th letter sent on his company letterhead, CV Star & Company, Greenberg implores Liddy for an opportunity to submit an offer, quote, on any assets that the company intends to sell. Noting that the U.S. insurance giant has so far been tight-lipped about its plans, Mr. Greenberg, as a major shareholder, reminded Mr. Liddy of his fiduciary responsibility to inform the owners of the company of his plans. I'm not going to comment on that at all. The stock market is down about 135 points now as we go to a word from our sponsors.
Every day, the world wakes up and goes to work, pursuing the unique opportunities that lead the global economy forward. The complexity and close connectivity of today's global marketplace is a true modern miracle that can create unparalleled success. But it takes confidence, passion, innovation, and understanding.
Enabling opportunity.
Protecting capital.
Engineering innovation.
Investing in your future.
Ensuring continuity.
Finding the right balance.
It takes Aon.
From prehistoric time to today, man's progress has been marked by his ability to fashion tools and use them to his advantage. From early humans making tools from stone, man evolved and was soon trading with other men. Money evolved, and tools such as the abacus to handle complex money transactions were developed. By the end of the 19th century, machines such as the cash register began to appear. 100 years later, we have even better computer-driven machines which track stock, change prices, and automatically reorder. Meanwhile, the reinsurance industry has failed to embrace man's drive for progress. The reinsurance industry today would be as familiar to practitioners from the 1800s as it is to modern underwriters. An underwriter or broker from 1800 would settle nicely into today's business. That is, until now. For the reinsurance industry, pivot point changes everything. Soon it will be understood that the period before pivot point was as dark as the caveman period was before the abacus. Come and see for yourself if you don't believe. After a demonstration, you will understand what is possible.
Coming back after the break, the stock market is down 120 points, and I just received an instant mail from a viewer in Orlando, Florida, asking if we're going to have an update on the Pirates today. Not the Pittsburgh Pirates, but the Somali Pirates, and I can assure him that we will. First, we have a couple of stories to get through. There's a story that's coming out of Osaka, Japan this morning about a pre-dawn fire that raged through an adult video theater that killed at least 16 people and injured 10 others. Police arrested one of the customers on suspicion of arson and attempted murder. According to the police, he admitted that he set the fire using a stash of newspapers in his bag. The blaze broke out at about 3 a.m. at an establishment called the CATEX Adult Video Theater in Japan's second largest city. Now, this is interesting. This is why we're running this story, aside from the fact that it's a tragedy. When the fire started, most of the theater's 32 viewing cubicles, each of which are equipped with a cot, a television, and a DVD player, were occupied. The video center offered a wide selection of DVDs, mostly adult movies, but also cartoons, and attracted businessmen who used the rooms as cheap alternatives to hotels after missing the last train home. Also, a growing number of young Japanese people whose low-paying jobs cannot pay for proper housing live in such all-night lounges watching videos or reading comic books. I was in Japan last month and I did not notice that, but when I go back again I will examine that. We're getting some loss reports from Taiwan now from Typhoon Zhangmi, which is the fourth storm to have belted the island in the past month. Apparently about $51 million worth of agricultural losses have occurred as of this morning. This is according to the Government Council of Agriculture. Zhangmi pounded Taiwan with heavy rains and strong winds Sunday through Monday, injuring 60 people. It resulted in the shutdown of the stock markets, offices, and schools and most government agencies on Monday, and it affected or damaged about 44,000 hectares of farmland. Most of the crops that were destroyed or impaired are grapes, bananas, guavas, papaya, and other vegetables. Livestock worth around 6 million Taiwanese dollars were also killed, and about 82 million Taiwanese dollars worth of damage were done to fisheries. In the U.S., some estimates on losses from hurricanes here. Entergy Corporation estimated last night that damage from Hurricanes Ike and Gustav has cost the power provider about $1 billion to $1.2 billion U.S. Of Entergy's 6 regulated power utilities in Louisiana, Texas, and Mississippi, Entergy Texas took the most damaging hit during Ike, an estimated $435 million to $510 million worth of damages. Entergy said that the storm cost a total ranging from $525 to $625 million group-wide. Earlier, Entergy estimated the cost of repairs and restoring electricity following Gustav, which was an earlier storm, to range from $500 million to $600 million. The New Orleans-based company also said it expects a yet-to-be-determined drop in utility revenue for the third quarter because of the storm outages. I think there may still be people in Louisiana and Mississippi without power. We'll check that. Entergy noticed that each utility unit would be responsible for its own costs and recovering whatever losses it can. How much might then be passed on to ratepayers depends upon storm reserves and, of course, insurance payments. Customers of 2 Entergy units, Entergy Gulf States Louisiana and Entergy Louisiana itself, are paying about $1 billion over 10 years to cover hurricane repair costs from Katrina and Rita several years back. And now to our viewer in Orlando, here's the update on the pirates. It was suggested to me yesterday that if the New York Times could use a satellite phone to call the pirate spokesman on the Ukrainian ship, we could. We decided not to do that. We're going to rely on the U.S. Navy for information. The Navy this morning indicated that it is piling on pressure on the Somali pirates. The pirates are still holding out for a $20 million ransom for the cargo ship, which is carrying tanks and other armaments. More ships from the Navy, as well as other navies, have blockaded the Faina in what is being called a pirate's lair off of Somalia's Indian Ocean coast. The Defense Department, the Pentagon, has suggested that it could wait days for a Russian warship to arrive, which will join the action, before taking any action against the pirates. And the Defense Department has laid down the emphasis on ensuring a, quote, peaceful resolution. The President of Somalia, Yusuf Ahmad, urged Somalis today and the international community to combat rising piracy off his waters. They've seen 60 ships being seized in 2008 alone. According to the Somali president, the pirates are imposing an effective embargo on the Somalian people, and they are blockading movement between our country, the Indian Ocean, and the Mediterranean. The pirates seized the Ukrainian ship the Faina with its 21-man crew and 33 Soviet-era tanks last Thursday. They are under 24-hour surveillance from the U.S. ships and U.S. helicopters. The pirate spokesman said, who was named Mr. Sugul Ali, by the way, he said, "We are prepared for any eventuality. In the meantime, we're not worried, and we just want our money." Wow. We don't have anything that broke